Welcome to the 10th season of the Author's Corner. Each show is jam-packed with interviews, reviews, and so much more for you, the author and the artist. And now, here's our host, author H.D. Campbell.
Welcome to yet another installment of the Author's Corner with H.D. Campbell. As always, I'm your host, H.D. Campbell. Man, we've had quite a few weeks here at the Author's Corner. We've talked to some great authors, heard some great poetry, talked a lot of great issues and everything. This week is no different. We're going to continue our talk with Angela Sims as we hear poetry from her. We're going to continue talking about her ministry and everything else she does, as well as a few other tidbits. Then we'll talk to our client, author, poet. He's just all around multifaceted. We're going to talk to L.J. Elliot Howard once again. So, without further ado, we're going to start with Angela R. Sims. Are you looking for a professional publisher who offers fair royalties and more? Contact me, H.D. Campbell, at Hard Drive Publishing. We offer free professional editing and publishing services with each contract individualized to each author's needs. We'll have your book sold in paperback or ebook format to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Smashwords, and more. We even have a cover artist on staff. If you're interested in submitting, contact me, H.D. Campbell, at hdcampbell3 at msn.com, or contact me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. It's Hard Drive Publishing, and as always, let your writing fuel your spirit.
You know, even after 20 years, readers are still captivated with How to Lose a Black Woman. Now, in its second printing, follow the story of Bruce Williams. Shall I say, mild-mannered school teacher in search of love? Using social media, prayer, and a lot of trial and error, Bruce fights to learn what a true relationship is all about. Filled with original poetry by H.D. Campbell, it's a lesson from one young man's point of view. Buy How to Lose a Black Woman on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Smashwords, in your favorite bookstore, and even on his website at www.hdcampbell3.com. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit.
Welcome back. We're going to start the ball rolling with Angela R. Sims. We're going to conclude our conversation, and we're going to hear some great poetry. Here she is.
Yeah. I respect anybody that comes in. And let me say this too. I'm glad that you said that because I need to balance that. Also, I have had people to come in and do phenomenal works behind scenes, never want to be acknowledged, just wanted to make sure that the community, the aspects, because we feed the homeless, we go through private visitations, we pass out book bags, we get a plethora of things. St. Louis Panera Bread Company helped us at one time, and different places helped our girls advance, drives, school drives, all different type of stuff that we have, and they come in and do it. And you have to just understand as a boss, some people are there seasonal and some are permanent. You just have to know which one and be okay with it as it transition, because I'm in a transition now. And so I appreciate the knowledge that I've gained out of having both those that are ignorant, but those that understand what you're building. It's not just about you, it's larger than you. And I could just see fields of people being helped in third world and abroad. I mean, not just abroad, but also right here nationwide and locally. So, yeah.
Awesome. So we got ahead of ourselves. That's my bad. I want you to tell me about your organization, when you started, and what's your mission.
Woo. Well, Domi has been a part of me my entire life. Domi is me. I'm a daughter of inheritance. When we were in high school, I didn't know myself. I was groomed and tailored. I knew I went. If you notice, after we got out of classes and stuff, I would always go to the library. I can't remember the redhead African American sister that was the librarian in there.
I know who you're talking about. Miss
You
Reed.
know who I'm talking about? I can't remember her name to save my life, but she was one of my heroes because
Right.
she was really soft to me in a hard. I had just it was hard. You know, I was enduring a lot of stuff silently that I hadn't talked about or said anything, but those were my safe haven. And so that's where Daughters of Inheritance, because I knew I had an inheritance. My grandparents were preachers, my mom evangelist. I knew those things, but it did not register. It was not an everyday talk that you were gonna be different from your siblings. And so I just had to find that balance. And throughout life I was finding that balance. And 2008, 2010 is where Daughters of Inheritance came. I celebrated myself on my 33rd birthday. I had a party. I had a band, a live band. I had a DJ. I had candles all around. I celebrated myself. And then that's when she began to culminate. And that's what a lot of girls are looking for. They're looking for that validation. They're looking for, they're looking, I could be a boss lady, but I also can just be a daughter. I want to just be a daughter, nothing else. So cultivating a relationship in myself is what brought about Daughters of Inheritance 2008. So we empower girls to be strong women through everything that we do. When we go out, when we do can drives, we get to volunteer at shelters, diapers. Uh, we do most Black enterprises because we want to help build back into our community. You know, little small theaters, let our girls go in and run the front of the house, you know, ticket collecting, passing out, you know, programs, sending the people to their seats, you know, scanning the ID bands and all that stuff. So just empowering girls to become strong women through the arts, through civic service, mentorship, leadership, and sisterhood. And I do have 3 sisters of my own, and that's where I get it from. My mom always wanted us to be together. She always preached, you know, take care of each other. And I don't take that for granted because I'm the word of God person. And I just believe that we are community. We have common union. Community means common union with one another. We don't always have to agree, but take care of each other. Common union. Yeah. So yeah, that's where she came from. She came from just wanting to knit and be that tight source in times of need and just in times of laughter as well. So yeah.
I want to take a moment before I ask my next. There's a reason why your organization is so successful. And this is just something that I've just been feeling since high school. The organization is an embodiment of you. And no matter how you felt about yourself then or now, you've always been strong. You've always been that person who, I don't care, I'm doing it. And that's what I've always admired about you. So if the group is successful, it's because the head of it is founder. The organization is the embodiment of the founder.
Yeah, that's funny because some days I have the girls laughing, and I try to keep I try to keep laughter and realness around. So when you feel those days, you don't have to feel embarrassed of saying I don't feel this today. And sometimes I say I'm the leader, but the leader gets tired, and they know properly how to hold my hands up, and they know how to just give me a break and go get stuff done. So just being able to fill in gaps and stuff. I don't always feel that way. And that's why I wrote this piece of poetry called Thought for Food. Uh, I just wanted to spit that one first. It's called Thought for Food, Food for Thought. Just some food for thought. Metaphorically speaking and ciphering. What are you putting in your mouth? I said, what are you putting in your mouth? You provoke what you eat. Did you hear what I said? You provoke what you eat. So chew your syllables, conjunctions, articles, nouns, pronouns, adverbs, verbs, adjectives, predicates, and dangling participles real slow. Just relax and let it go. Go through your large intestines and into your digestive tract and system. I hope what you are speaking and eating doesn't give you acid reflux, yuck, regurgitation, yucky, food poison, yum, healthy, yummy, nutritious. You are what you speak, eat, and cipher. How about your soul food? Or let me say, how was that soul food? Just some thoughtful food.
I love that. I love that. That is too telling. So my next question for you is, where's your book? We gotta have a book. We need one.
It's still in. I'm gonna say it. It's still in. What's that book company? They just folded. Everybody was using them.
Publish America?
They proxy.
Oh
I
yeah.
I I was frustrated because I didn't know how to line stuff up. I didn't know anything about the ISBN numbers, and well, I did know about them, but I didn't know about other stuff that was a part of making a book. So it's still in their queue. However, I still own and remain. I have the rights because I am Library of Congress covered. I
Oh,
just need some help. I need a whole lot of help. That's what I need.
we'll talk later. We'll definitely talk later.
Definitely, I'm looking for it.
I talked about you and your mom, so we're gonna be all good.
Yes, yes. So, as a as a offset of that, make a statement is a piece of poetry, and I don't know how to get the book started, but I know I got that pumbaa. I got to get this stuff done. So, it's called "Make a Statement," and it says, when you get on this microphone, you better make a statement. Not leaving symptoms of scratchy, itchy, swollen, sore throats, malinfections, or inflammation. When you get on the mic, your echoes need to cause some universal and continental woes and mental upheavals. This mic was invented to cause people to ponder hard and rub their temples. You
Mm.
are lyrically and poetically responsible and accountable. You owed it to our forefathers who had no mics, just their secret handshakes, languages, lullabies, hymnals, and vocal cords. The things you speak may cause you to be hoarse or coarse and may even cause recourse. This mic is like the wind. Once you blow in it, what you say and what we hear, you cannot rescind. When you grace the mic, I said, when you grace the mic, it's because it's divine. It is destined for you and your annals and chronicles of time. When you speak, you are authorized to subject kingdoms, realms, and dominions to be overwhelmed. I said, when you grace this mic, it is divine. It is very destined for you and your annals and chronicles of time. When you speak, you are authorized to subject kingdoms, realms, and dominions to be overwhelmed. When you get on this mic, say what you need to say. When you see real lyricists and poets, they cover the mic up to help them keep away contamination. I said it's to help them keep away nations,
Mm.
bacteria, and common colds like H1N1, whooping cough, swine flu, or any other type of uncipher flu strands. When you get on this mic, man, you can't be playing. Take a stand, make a statement, because you either infecting or affecting a generation and a nation. Again, I say stop playing, make a statement.
That's what I'm talking about. That speaks to right now, people. Right now. Make the
Yeah,
statement. So
man.
you are not playing.
Yeah. And guess when that was wrote? 2012.
Wow. This was before even all this. This was barely after Rodney King. It was like wow.
Listen. Right, right.
Wow. So let's speak to today. So my next question to you is, you've got so much going on. I I'm not even gonna speak for the personal because the thing about personal is you're running a mile a minute. You need somebody that's gonna try to keep up with your lane. But how can somebody get to know you if they want to by get to know your poetry, your organization? Just how can somebody get to know you?
Yeah, well, I mean, my contact information is I'm Angela Sims, and my contact information is actually up under DOMI, DOIMI, which is the acronym for Daughters of Inheritance Mentorship Initiative, as well as Daughters of Inheritance Ministries International. We can be found at Daughters of Inheritance at yahoo.com, or you can connect with us at 314-637 8618. If we do not get back to you, remember I'm human. I have a job too. I have a job. So if I don't get back with you right away, we will get back to you. So Daughters of Inheritance at yahoo.com, as well as 314-637-8618. And again, it is Daughters of Inheritance Ministries International, which is the giving to the people, speaking the word of God, traveling the country, and as well, Daughters of Inheritance Mentorship Initiative. So we've been blessed twice. Domi Domi, I have twins.
Awesome, awesome. Can I ask a favor of you real quick? Something just came upon me. I want to give a shout out to your nephew in Texas who just graduated.
Darius,
Yeah.
yes.
So
It's actually two nephews. My one brother that stays in Atlanta,
awesome.
his son Eric Michael Sims. I love you, nephew. I told you to open up your mouth, and now you're doing theater. You're getting ready to go for cinematography, or however you say it, cine.
You said it right.
Yeah, yeah, you're going for that. And Ladarius actually, they both have slight autism, and they have beat the odds. Do you understand what we have put up with summer months? They came down, and I made sure that they were included in everything. So those are my heartbeats. My nieces and nephews are my heartbeats. I poured Domi into them first. It's going across the country, and I'm excited about it. And to Ladarius Jamal Townsend, I love you, man. You know how TT rock with both of you guys, Eric, all of my boys. It's almost 10 of them somewhere. They all in a grown stage now. So um, shout out to them. Congratulations, 2020. You guys have still beat the odds despite what has happened. You guys defeated the odds. We celebrate you. Go Sun Kings and do what you need to do. Dominate the world. Be excited about who you are. You are brave. You're strong. You're bold. You're audacious. And most of all, you're our Sun Kings. And
Yeah,
we love you. Congratulations, 2020, to all of the 2020 class. Love you guys.
most definitely. Congratulations. I'm sorry I had to put that in there because I saw that there was like, oh, okay, just in time for the interview.
Yeah, TT's about education. When I get on that personal level with them, because my one Ladarius, at first he said, I don't want to go to school. I don't think I'll be able to make video games. I said, you can do whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Start learning about them, even if you mess them up. Just pull it apart, try it again. It'll be all right.
Into it. That's basically what you do. You do whatever you want to do. Just put your mind to it.
Absolutely, and they are geniuses. Just to see their milestones is like above amazing. Yeah.
So my next question for you is, where do you see yourself in about 5, maybe 10 years?
5 or 10 years projection. Well, living in mega greatness. Uh, what I mean by that, this is not always money or procurement. Mega greatness is, to me, mega greatness is accomplishing things that your soul wants to do and being happy, being relative with your life and what you want to do. So I do want to author. I have like 5 books. I have 2 children's books, a family cookbook, uh, I have my poetry book, and I have one called My Father is Who. And it really speaks to what is going on now with our sons, our son kings, our African American son kings, and just letting them know through the eyes of God how they should look versus what the world is trying to put on them. So I look forward to publishing. I look forward to traveling even the more, and just keeping strong ties with those that support me, and just putting that energy, that love energy out there, but also sobriety with everything that you have, because everything you have, some things make you humble, and just want to remain humbled. And like mega greatness to me is I wrote a song for Fred Hammond, and if you're listening, Fred, I would love to do my song, and I would like to meet.
Let's do it right now.
Hi, Fred. I really do. I want to sing with you. It's a beautiful song, and it lines up with what you already do. Who else? I would like to go get my doctorates in like theology. My doctorates, Dr. Angela Renee Sims. The
Mm-hmm.
so I would like to do that and do just a little world traveling and see other, really go to some of the villages and stuff throughout Honduras, Africa. I just want to do a little bit of traveling and just enjoy myself, you know. So, but enjoy myself, but empower and impact.
Awesome, 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 awesome. See, that's pretty cool. See, I love you for that. In fact, I hope to be able to reach a lot of those rides.
I would love. I got to tell you about my photographer. His name is Devon. Um, he follows me everywhere. I'm going to send you pictures of everything that the
Please.
girl's done.
Mm-hmm.
With senators and all that stuff. We've done some amazing stuff, but he follows me everywhere. And when I tell you, like even with the poetry, he has captured things that I with my fans. Like I did a poetry night with a young crew. Chastity, hi Chastity. She is amazing. She had this night and she gave me minutes for like 6 pieces of poetry. And this one man, he stayed by me the whole time just talking. And so the vibe captures all of those beautiful moments that I don't get a chance to. We had um, Senator Claire McCaskill. She invited us to sit in with her one night, well, one day, and she was in the neighborhood, and my girls were ecstatic. Like they were like, "Who are these people with all this pink and black?" And I just said, "It's really not. I'm trying to make a name. I'm trying to leave a legacy of my intentions are a legacy of service and a legacy of goodwill."
See, I love that. And you're going to definitely leave a service. You're definitely leave a lot behind. In fact, like I say, we're going to be with you for the ride on that. So,
I hope so. I'm excited. Yeah,
oh, that is not a problem. So, my final question is, and I usually give my authors the final word.
mhm.
Whatever you're going to say, shout out, poetry, whatever you're going to do, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Um, I'm tussled between girl interrupted, but my last words are never be afraid to be who you are. I think mine was when you reached out the other day, you were like, if do any poets want to be on my show? And I'm like, I always shy away. And I don't know where that came from because I used to just be outgoing. Life sometimes give you a curveball, and you kind of retreat and resort. And so I just appreciate the fact that my girl power and the Domi in me said, step out and ask him, can you be a part of it? Never be afraid of that God given talent and giftedness that he has given you. Never be afraid to use it and unleash it. And I believe the world is ready for some new and fresh talent, giftedness, passions, drive. It's not just about education anymore. It's about do you have the drive and the passion and the consistency to see it done? And so just telling you that life ain't a crystal stair. Everything is not always going to pan out how you want it. But however, if you have your focus, keep working at that which is in you, that's the legacy that you're going to leave. And That's what my desire is, to leave a legacy, promoting that you could be anything that you want to be. And it's really not about a title, it's about the work. Do the
Oh,
work.
awesome, awesome. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. So I just wanted to leave off with this, bro. It's called, because I got love poetry too, because I fall in love too.
Hey,
Love now, but I fall in love. So
I want to hear this one.
it's called Woman and Girl Interrupted. When a girl or a woman knows, understands, and sees real love, her whole world is interrupted. It's, I mean, it's that can't eat, can't sleep, can't think, baby, interrupted. She knows that it's not just a mirage or a figment of her imagination. It's like what my girl Jill Scott said, girl, we gonna have to connect some other time.
Ah,
I mean, it's like that waking up in the middle of the night, heart pittering, pattering, cold sweats, turning to the other side, imagining he was there interrupted. After waking up in the morning, lying there holding your pillow interrupted. I mean, wishing he would just ask me interrupted. I'm saying, envisioning what it's like to be embraced intimately by him interrupted.
mm,
It's through those vivid images of silhouettes of his face running across your mind all day interrupted. It's
mm.
abrupt interrupted when you in the middle of doing something and you lose all train of thought because he just can't get, you just can't get him off your consciousness interrupted. After going on a date with another man and he ain't the one interrupted. It's wondering if he'll just call me interrupted. Call me.
Ah,
Then when he doesn't call, still interrupted. When you finally see him, you are trying to keep your cool, but you're not interrupted. It's interrupted and make your closest girlfriend say, girl, are you okay? Are you sure you okay? Interrupted. Girl, you know what I mean. Girl and woman. Interrupted.
that was a very powerful interview. I told you it was going to be a powerful interview. Nobody ever listened to me, but this is about you. But anyway, to learn more, we're going to have the websites as well as everything on my website, accampbellmedia.com. In fact, I got some news about AC Campbell Media at the end of the show. So, but when we return, we're going to talk to J. Elliot Howard.
Just who is author H.D. Campbell? He's the multi-gene author who can take you on several trips at once. With H.D. Campbell, you can have a romance, you can track a killer, or even stop an international incident. For 30 years and still writing, H.D. Campbell will take you on trips you've never been before. Learn more about him by logging on to hdcampbell3.com or check him out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. Read his rewrites of How to Lose a Black Woman and Late Murder at 10 with a new title coming soon. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit.
Our next author is J. Elliot Howard. I don't know how many times I've talked to this brother, but we can't talk to this guy too much, because, like I say, we always have a great conversation. And see, also, he's on the front line of COVID-19. In fact, He works in a medical facility that actually straight deals with on his medical team. There's just so much about this brother. He helps out with debt on another show, and we'll talk about that on future shows. Here we're talking about his poetry. So here we go. You got a trilogy, which means you got another book coming.
Yeah, I know. I got to submit it to you. I have to get back to the house and do my final organization and all that. Because in the Rewritten Lives series, it comprises of 3 books of poetry and then a narrative that I'm working on. It's been slow going, but for those that are interested, wanting to see a taste of that narrative, that's actually on LinkedIn. It's called The Life and Times of Michael Tackett. I have an introduction in the first chapter.
Awesome.
There, it's been sat there for years, and because life has been interesting. So I was like, but I have to go back. I have to get back to it because it's poetry and prose, and a big influencer on me going that route was the fact that I do love poetry, and I think there's so many more applications to it. Obviously, if for those that really love the literary scene, about the Iliad and the Odyssey, which are actually poems, but they tell a story. So they're narrative tales, but they're still poems. And there hasn't, in my mind, when I got started and I've been working on and dabbling here and there on that, is that there hasn't been more poems like that in my lifetime, where it actually tells like a full-on story. Right. You got certain other veins, like from spoken word and little short vignette deals, like what Maya Angelou was known for, but nothing like long-winded. Like you can't sit there and memorize it and then say the whole quote it word by word because it's too long for all of that. But you need to sit down and chew it and enjoy it. So, that being said, it has that type of poem and poetry and prose needs to be thought out like you're writing a regular novel, and develop the storyline, and so that would be the 4th installment. But the trilogy of the poetry is Days of Revelation, the 3rd and final book, and I've had samples of that book for a while now on the Elliot Howard Facebook page, not on the Rewritten Lives Facebook page. It's been in the notes section within the Elliot Howard Facebook page. And so it involves, in the middle of the book, there's a series of poems because I grew up within the church. Okay, so my dad, I alluded to my dad being executive, but he's also the ordained minister. Okay, and growing up, I had my grandmother was a housekeeper and cook for the Catholic rectory, and of course I got trained. I went to the University of Pittsburgh. I got heavily trained in Orthodox Christianity, and the whole Greek Orthodox Church. Yes, I sure did. And so on and so forth, Pentecostal, AME, you name it. I've done my denomination tour. So being that's always been involved in my life, you just really can't escape that. And so there's a suite of poems that's in the middle of it called the church service. And the church service is literally, a poem for each of the sections of a traditional church service. You got the entrance, you got the introduction, you got the opening prayer, you got the praise and worship poem, and then you got the sermon, then you got the call to salvation, you got tithe and offering, call to salvation, and then you got the benediction. There's a poem for each section of that, right? And the sermon poem in that is called "Knowing God's Love is Knowing Your Worth." And it's as I've gotten older, it's taking on different meanings, but I think it's really, really true. because it's the point of knowing your own value, and it picks up from, it's a light tie-in to the awakening in the poem in Rewritten Lives. It's a poem called Genuine. Okay, and you got to read it because it talks about it eliminates the fact of a relationship where you're finally waking up and you're calling the person on the carpet and saying the fact that, like, you're saying that you're close to me, saying that you love me. But when we're around people, and when you're around people, when we're alone, you act like you can't deal with me or you don't want to be around me, and that whole two-faced when you're coming awake, right? When you know your worth, you come to being awakened to how you're supposed to be treated, how you're supposed to be valued. And then you start calling people on notice. So, and so that's, and for me being a believer, I tie that in the fact of knowing what God's love is for me and God values me. And then my expectation is that then if God values me, there's some value and I deserve to be treated a certain type of way. And if not, then people need to walk. And it's okay to let folk go. They're like, at some point, I think, God allows a certain amount of grace for you to come to it on your own. But I think it comes to a point where then things start happening that make you feel uncomfortable, that you have where if the sweetness dissipates to the point that it's so bitter that you got to split the relationship out.
Oh yes, most definitely.
Because it would have been easier to let it go when and nicer and softer had you let it go when you first had the feeling that there's something that you need to let go, and it wouldn't have been as bitter. But sometimes you hold on to it so long that you can't. There's no salvaging of anything for even a friendship because you've now seen all of the ugly.
Yes.
And you got you right. And so, and maybe you need to see. Maybe people need to see that. But the reality is that it all comes back to knowing about what God's love for you, when you know your value. Then there's only a certain level that you will tolerate and that you will accept. So, there's also ancillary poems that are around in the book that also, again, it's the whole concept of the implicit storyline that you don't, because I think it's important for a reader to see themselves in the thing, you don't, as opposed to looking at stuff from just a third person point of view. Just you're in this moment. And so this is embracing it and walking that journey through the poems. And so it's a different turn from Rewritten Lives and Take a Walk with Me, but it's not none of the poems are preachy. They're actually, and I'm not saying, and there's another round for those poems that are, but mine aren't. But it does actually intertwine like how I am in my mind. And I'll give you an example. The one poem that's definitely going to be in there. And so this is my publisher has never heard this poem, nor has he read it. So it's called "My Time Will Come." As the clock ticks, there are 60 chances a minute to diversify my life and arrive closer to a destiny defined for me. Looking over the shoulder is irrelevant because the next opportunity awaits with each second, and each is as unique and fleeting as the next. So there is no purpose in being vexed if I am taken for granted because of the lost moments, knowledge, and experience that life will have more than one. And faith, I have, wait, my computer's slowing down. Hold on. Okay. where the shoulder is irrelevant because of the next opportunity awaits with each second, and each is unique and fleeting as the next. So there is no purpose in being vexed. If I'm taken for granted because of the lost moments, knowledge, and experience that life will have more than one. And the faith I have is the knowing that becoming is a journey without a steady arrival, because each has a note musically of its own. One day, in a moment, an instant, my time will come.
So like to see you stuck that in on it. So where's this going? It's going on Facebook?
Yeah, that's Days of Revelation. That's for Days of Revelation.
Excellent. See, I even heard it here first.
Yeah, I like you see, I mean, it's it covers that. I mean, and the whole thing of the fact of like, people. I've been teaching this with my team about, and because I have a lot of young individuals, and they're doing the stuff they're doing, and the positions that they hold are thankless, even though they are important. They have dreams and aspirations. But then so don't get frustrated in the fact that what you have in your head is in front of you right now. Right. It's coming. It's all about the fact of being patient, because your moment will come. You just got to be ready. You just got to stay ready.
Yeah.
So,
you okay?
No, it's a very, I don't know. It's a very interesting thing. I mean, so that's like, that's one of those that's going to be in there. And there was a lady who was a mentor of mine, and she had asked me to do poems for her, two poems for her when she were to pass. If she were to pass, she and I were really close in Finland. And when she did, I'd read her the poems that I would do years earlier, and then when she was on her deathbed, I never forgot, but she wanted to make certain that she had reminded me to do the poem, and I was, and because it meant so much to her, and she was known as the Shunammite woman, and this poem was going to be in Days of Revelation. And for us to understand who the Shunammite woman is in the Bible, was a woman. We all know the story. Are we familiar with the story of the young boy that was working out in the field with his dad, and then had the equivalent of heat stroke? The dad brought the boy home to his mom. Mm-hmm. Okay, the mom was the Shunammite woman, and this is the boy. The reason why this boy was so significant is because earlier on she had come to Elijah, because she had wanted a child, and her and her husband could not have what she was bearing, and God blessed her with being able to have a child, and this was the child that now lies in her arms, or lying in the bed, dying, and and she had a choice on how she was going to respond to the situation, and she would be justified in either direction that she would choose to respond. Because when your child is, we're all parents. When your child is sick, you want to do everything you can to take that pain away, right? And so I don't judge any parent for that. Let's say, because ultimately, if you're a loving dad and mom, guess what? In this situation, you probably would do whatever you would do whatever it takes. So, but my thing was how she approached the situation, and so this is how it goes. It shall be well. It is well, and I shall tell what is well within my soul. It is the bowl of my spirit that does hold messages told from a teacher lending lessons that still teach, although yet at a distance they still reach. God is with you always. Just trust and believe. In the promise, he said, it will be more than your mind will conceive. Beyond the gain of a 40-day fast, because it is only part only a part of a foundation of obedience that continues to last as the strongest sign of faith. Holding on to the Father for me, who knew no better, so as to have him breathe life back into me within the upper room for the Spirit. She is a grandmother whose hands have kept my way clear, hands folded in prayer, and heart steadfast. A love more than a lifetime, our friendship will last. And that one was actually, that was for Arlethea Williams. She was, you familiar there in St. Louis area, people, about the concept of the town mother?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All
right. Got a few of them, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so I intertwined in the poem the influence that she had over my life.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And she taught me to always feel that it as well. There's always an opportunity for a positive outcome. You just got to keep your mind and your spirit right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See. And so she, and with the Shooting My Woman as the backdrop, because that's what Arlethea Williams was called, I just took that story and applied it to her, because in all truth, and I'm not the only one in the town that feels that way, she guided a lot of individuals that were my age and older, but were younger than her, and so I had to keep my word. This is how important she was to me. I was on vacation when she passed. I got I called up AAA. I was like, okay, I know where I am. I need a red eye to get me to Northwest Ohio so I can say goodbye and keep my word. So that's what I did. And it was interesting to hear I am a poet. There were like 4 or 5 other ministers, ordained ministers, preaching that day. Because look, it's a black funeral, y'all. You've seen the movies. You know how we get. I mean, I would love to say that it's just purely stereotypical, but nah.
This one is actually spot on.
That was actually spot on. I was like, yeah, we did. Yeah, the only thing we didn't have was somebody trying to jump into the casket. But I'm pretty certain that somebody tried to. We just kind of had to shut that person in there too. Like, all right, but no, she was a very special individual. And again, that's one of those poems that's the ancillary around what the church service would be inside Days of Revelation. Because the whole concept of Days of Revelation is this. After you've gone through all your tests, after you've gone through all of your battles, after you've gone through all of your challenges, you get to a certain point down the road and you look over your shoulder, not in the realm of reminiscing, but just what lessons did you learn? Hence the revelation.
Right.
And so the days that come are the things that get revealed to you, lessons that get revealed for you at the time that you need them to be.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of where, I go with it for Days of Revelation. And I give, for your listeners, it's one final poem called Philippians 4:13, Shadow My Father. Of course, Philippians 4:13, this will give you a precursor on that, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Okay? But the thing is that it's one thing to have us to know the scriptures and read the Bible. There are a lot of people that are Bible scholars that can quote the Bible way better than I ever could. But the thing is, it's not about what you know, it's what you actually, it was not the scripture that you can quote, it's what you walk in. And I think that there's that's important. Whether or not that because the same problem throughout time has been, you can say love your neighbor as yourself, but as we're seeing what has happened over the last 72 hours in Minneapolis, you can go to church and know that because the pastor is talking about it. But if you really loved yourself, love your neighbor as yourself, you wouldn't want your neighbor putting his or her knee on the back of your neck, 1. 2, you wouldn't want somebody coming over and destroying your property for something that you had nothing to do with, right? So I say all that in the sense of like, I saw my dad walk in this, and being as a child, while you're living in the shadow of your parents until you come up out of that shadow. But the parents cast a really good shadow because you raise a child the way they will go, and when they're older, they won't depart from it. That's all part of that shadow. And walking in the concept of what Days of Revelation is, this is how the poem begins. Can we talk for a minute? After all, time is fleeting, and this meeting I dare not let pass, because I thought I was cheating time, only become aware that the sand was merely pouring out of the glass. To mountaintops and through valleys, the miles have tallied many places, but there has never been a place where your name was unknown. Near and far, all knew you. Their voices would ring. You were doing all things. Under a rock, over a tree, what a travesty of that time. I didn't know I was free. Yet you were doing all things. In moments and times where I was unwise in my own conceit and found myself with only my arm to rest my head, your voice kept me fed on a path that would bring me back to you when I should have been dead. You were doing all things. When I was a child, I thought as one would. Now I have put away childish things as a man, which you showed me I should. Yet it is more than that. I am awake now to the truth I was missing in my living slumber. And with this lumber, my house will be built and last for the rest of my days. Spoken words last for a moment, forgotten over time, and often misrepresented, leaving the messenger resented. But the narrative lasts forever. How clever. The message of life was given to me, love too deep to let me forget that you were doing all things. The Christ who gave you strength. And because you have done all things, so should I. You gave me this loving message I see clear as day. And in every way, I say thank you to the life you have given me. Because of you, I know how to live free.
Stay tuned in coming weeks when I debut his website, as well as a few more new things coming out from Elliot Howard. And you can also check out new things from Elliot Howard on my htcampbell3.com main page or by htcampbellmedia.com media page. So, when we return, we got some breaking news and HD's 2 cents.
Have you been to our website, www.hdcampbell3.com, lately? It's informative and it's highly interactive. Besides the personal blogs, the picture gallery, and a chance to learn about HD Campbell Productions, you can also buy books and check out HD Campbell services, all in one place. So log on to www.hdcampbell3.com, and when you're done, check out our media page at www.hdcampbellmedia.com. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit. Check out HD Campbell's media page at www.hdcampbellmedia.com. HD Campbell keeps up with the latest news through blogs written by him and other guest columnists. It follows the latest news in the communities of the world in all areas. It's also another place to catch back episodes of the Author's Corner with HD Campbell. It's the interactive media source that provides the facts without a lot of media fat surrounding it. With columns and articles daily, check out what H.D. Campbell will write about next. Log on to www.hdcampbellmedia.com for details. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit. Do you need editing and formatting services for your manuscript or document? Go to HD Campbell Productions, who will offer professional services and reasonable prices. For more information, call HD Campbell at 314-265-9169 or you can send him an email at hdcampbell3@msn.com. Let HD Campbell be your editor. As always, let your writing fuel your spirit.
Programming note. Over the next few episodes, there are going to be some changes coming to the Author's Corner as well to the whole H.C. Campbell Productions organization. And I mean everywhere. I mean, I'm talking Hard Drive Publishing. I'm talking about H.C. Campbell Media. I'm talking about, and of course, H.C. Television as well as the Author's Corner. All facets, we're going through a full program change. You're going to start seeing the changes. There's too many lists right now, but you're just going to start seeing a lot more professional changes throughout the entire spectrum. So stay tuned. And to also get abreast of those changes, you can also go to my website at htcampbell3.com and also our media page at htcampbellmedia.com, which is actually going through one of the biggest changes as we go through this. So, now for HT's 2 cents. I was having a thought today about when I was working on the format for the new company, and I was thinking about my espionage thriller series that I'm actually reprinting that I'll tell you more about in the coming weeks. I'm as I was able to retrieve my espionage thriller, I was thinking it's been a minute since I talked to you guys about storing your work. I don't care if you're a new author, seasoned author, new writer, old writer, whatever. It's always great to back up your work. Because we've all had one instance where we've lost our manuscript and it's the only manuscript. So that's why I invest in a lot of portable hard drives. I tell my kids, I give her portable hard drives to my kids, make sure my wife has one. I try to make sure everybody has some sort of backup because if your computer fails and your manuscript is on it, that may be your manuscript. Or if your computer accidentally gets erased, anything can happen. Computer crashes, anything. Always save and back up your work. Portable hard drives are no more than $40. I mean, even the memory sticks can be no more than $16 to $20. I mean, anything you can use to back up your work, please use because that's one of the more valuable things. I've known professional authors who, even screenwriters, I mean, who've gotten laptops stolen with their only work on it. You can always get the laptop back, you can always get your computers back, you get everything working back right, but you cannot ever, and I repeat, you can't always get your work backed up. So please, back up your work. So, that's the Author's Corner. Next week, we're going to have 2 more amazing authors. In fact, we're going to have part 2, the conclusion of our talk with J. Elliot Howard, because that was only part 1. And then we're going to talk to H.C. Campbell Productions Hard Drive Publishing. Red Dragon is her name, and we go back way back. In fact, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what drives her poetry because she is highly talented, and she will have a book and website coming out soon herself. So, that's the Author's Corner. Peace. Please be careful out there. And as always, let your writing fuel your spirit, and God bless you.